About a year and a half ago, my husband came home from work and said he was done. Well, not with work, but with me and the kids. We'd been married almost 15 years. I'm not really sure what happened. He moved out, and I struggled to try and make it all work. And my mother, she told me that it was all my fault. The next couple of months were really hard. I was angry and afraid and hurt. One day in church, I saw one of the Stephen Ministry bookmarks in the pew, and I took one home.
I worked at MSU for 30 years. I loved it. I loved the people. But one day my boss called me into her office and told me I was being let go. What made it so hard is that I'd always defined myself by my work. I felt so ashamed when I bumped into people I used to work with. I felt angry and on edge all the time. It started affecting my marriage, and my wife suggested I talk to the pastor. I did, and she suggested that a Stephen minister might help me. So I asked for one.
Getting old is not easy. Most of my family and friends have passed away. My brother lives here, but he doesn't remember me anymore. My wife died about a year ago, and then it was just me. The silence. It was the silence that really got to me. I got a phone call from a guy I know in church, and he asked me how I was doing. I said what I always say, fine. And he said that he heard my wife passed and remembered what that was like for him. He told me that Bozeman UMC has a good Stephen ministry program and that it's okay to ask for help.
I finally called, and I'm so glad I did. I was assigned this wonderful woman who's been with me for the last year or so. Every week she comes to the house and we meet for coffee, and we just talk for about an hour. Well, actually, I do most of the talking and she listens. I wasn't really a big God kind of girl before, but she started praying for me, and I began to feel loved and cared for.
My Stephen minister and I meet on Saturday morning. We go for a short run and then we talk. It's probably the highlight of my week. He listens to what's going on in my life and is helping me figure out what's really important to me. He's great at encouraging and supporting me as I work through everything.
Boy, was I wrong about Stephen ministry. I figured they were a bunch of holier-than-thou guys that spouted the Bible all the time and made you want to gag. My Stephen minister is a really good guy. We meet at Wild Joe's every Thursday at 10, and we talk and have a cup of coffee. I'm glad Stephen ministry is for people like me.
Are you or somebody you know hurting? Stephen ministers are trained Christian laypersons with a passion for bringing Christ's love and caring to hurting people and their loved ones during their time of need. We work with people going through grief, divorce, terminal illness, infertility, unemployment, hospitalization, financial stress, and many other life difficulties. The Stephen minister meets with their care receiver on a weekly basis to listen, care, encourage, and provide emotional and spiritual support. Their time together is confidential and lasts as long as the person is in need of care. If you know someone who's hurting and could potentially benefit from a Stephen minister, take that important first step. Call Kimber O'Dean, Nurture Care Coordinator at 406-551-7208 and share what's on your heart.
I felt so alone when Jim left. It's still hard, but I'm grateful for my Stephen minister and for her consistent presence in my life.
I haven't started a new job yet, but I have a direction, and I know that I'm not alone.
I never thought I would be a person who had a Stephen minister, but I love my Thursday mornings at Wild Joe's. We talk about life, we pray, and we drink coffee and eat donuts. Doesn't get any better than that.